While I've been primarily covering Call of Duty on this channel, I am a big Battlefield fan. And you might think, well, you're a console Battlefield fan or a casual Battlefield fan, or you might think that I can't like Battlefield or that my opinions on Battlefield don't matter because I also enjoy Call of Duty. That's something people have been lambasting me over ever since I started talking about FPS games in general. But I'm putting that all behind me, it doesn't bother me at all. Over the last several years, I've put hours and hours into Battlefield. I have more than enough experience to talk about. Unfortunately, however, because of the last several years of Battlefield, I have zero reason to be hyped for Battlefield 2042. And the harder sell in this video is that I don't think anybody has a reason to be hyped for Battlefield 2042. Excited, interested, but not hyped, not unconditionally hyped. So why is that? Well, starting off with the main thing, I don't like that this is a $70 on next gen live service game with no single player offerings except the ability to kill bots. And you might say Battlefield never used to have a campaign. Battlefield games have had campaigns since the first Battlefield game in 2008. That's 13 years. So don't act like campaigns are a new addition to the Battlefield franchise just because 2142, Battlefield 2, Vietnam, and 1942 didn't have traditional story campaigns with protagonists and antagonists and all of that goodness. I've seen a similar argument about how Call of Duty shouldn't be designed with console in mind first because the original games were on PC, but Call of Duty has had a more console-focused design since 2007. It's been over a decade and I still see people say that. I've also seen people say, and this one really bugs me, that because previous Battlefield campaigns aren't very good, that means that they shouldn't do them anymore. Which I've already made an entire video about this, about just creatively bankrupt gamers with their shitty takes. When a company doesn't do something right, you should ask that they do it better, not that they just shouldn't do it at all. Spending $60 on online-only shooters was a big no-no a while back, but now everyone's like, it's fine, the campaigns are bad anyway. No, how about a good campaign that makes the game timeless? And I really mean that. I know it sounds cheesy, but Black Ops Cold War is far from my favorite Call of Duty game, but I just recently played through its campaign because I'm sick and I wanted something to play through. And yeah, honestly, I think the ending of the game sucked, but overall, this adds to the experience of owning Black Ops Cold War. If you spend money on Cold War, you get this story, and it's got some fun missions, some good fan service, and I overall enjoyed my time with it. I love revisiting Halo campaigns and Call of Duty campaigns and Battlefield campaigns. Even if they're not the best, they always have some gem-like missions in them that I enjoy revisiting, and it's nice to have something that has a narrative that you can revisit once the servers die. I don't know, you can try to justify to me in the comment section why Battlefield shouldn't have a campaign, but the only argument that I've ever seen about the subject that I didn't mind was that means more of the budget can go to multiplayer. But my point still stands, why are you charging me $60 when you're cutting content out of your game to give that budget over to another part of the product? Also, Battlefield 2042 is only launching with 7 maps, and I'm sorry, the 13 maps for Battlefield Portal doesn't have me terribly thrilled. As much as Battlefield Portal looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, I do think the novelty will fade and I'll just want to go play with the new content in the main game of Battlefield 2042, so anything being added to Battlefield Portal really doesn't factor in on my opinion here. I don't buy Halo for Forge and I'm not buying Battlefield for Portal. I'm not saying it won't be good, and I am willing to be proven wrong that it's going to be great, but it's not why I'm buying this game. I feel like having World War II era soldiers fight on Caspian border is going to be a fun novelty that fades after a while, and then we're going to want to actually play with new content that we haven't seen before. And while that is an assumption, I don't think it's an out-of-line assumption. I've also seen people say that it doesn't matter that there's only 7 maps at launch because the maps are going to be huge and they're going to allow for 128 players on next-gen consoles and PC. I'm sorry. Increasing map size and increasing player count does not make a game better. I don't think DICE had mastered making 64-player maps throughout Battlefield 3 and 4, and I don't think Visceral mastered it in Hardline, and I don't think it was mastered in 1 and 5. I don't think it's been mastered. I always feel like certain maps are too big and other ones are too small. It's so hard to get that right with that much variable going on. When they say they're increasing the player count to 128, I don't think, wow, that means more content and more fun. I think, God, I hope you know how to make maps for it. But now we're getting into the meat of the video. I don't know what DICE is capable of creating, and I don't think anybody is. You might say DICE makes Battlefield, and Battlefield is good. But what the hell is Battlefield? Look me in the eyes and tell me that Battlefield 4 and 3 have similar map design and weapon play. Okay, you might have me there. What about Battlefield Hardline? What about Battlefield 5? What about Battlefield 1? These games do not have consistency between their gunplay, map design philosophies, overall gameplay philosophies are different. The gimmicks are drastically different between each title. And I don't always consider it innovation. Some of it seems experimental at best, and I never really know what to expect from a Battlefield game anymore. That's not entirely true. Every time I played Battlefield Play for free back in the day, I could always expect a headache. Now, I'm glad that means that Battlefield games don't all feel the same, because Call of Duty games can kind of blend together a little bit sometimes. You get certain titles that have a lot of seemingly heavy amounts of overlap. Like Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare are very different, but they're both COD. Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare are much more similar, but they both still feel like Call of Duty. When Call of Duty ventures off and does something kind of weird or does a big time period shift, it still feels like COD, and over the last gen we've only really had two types of Call of Duty games, in my opinion, that really separate from themselves. Just give it a minute, I'm about to say there's actually three. The hit scan games and the bullet velocity games. That's the closest Call of Duty's gotten to drastically changing its gunplay, and you still have perfect accuracy on center sight, and you still have all the snappy weapon movements and arcadey twitch movements, and so it feels like COD. But Call of Duty Black Ops 4 through Call of Duty Vanguard have bullet velocity, which is the closest Call of Duty's really gotten to drastically shaking up how gunplay plays at a moment-to-moment level. It was a big adjustment for a lot of people, and it was kind of out of left field. I'd also add the Advanced Movement COD games. So you have the 3 Advanced Movement COD games, then you have the 3 bullet velocity Call of Duty games, and yeah, those do shake things up a bit, but still at the end of the day, they follow the same formula. You're buying Call of Duty and oh my god, look at that, it's Call of Duty. Battlefield is not the same. They've jumped so many times, they've innovated, experimented, and tweaked things so many times, even within singular titles. Battlefield 4 went through a plethora of balance changes throughout its life. Same with Battlefield 1 and same with Battlefield 5. So between the titles and within the titles, massive changes happen. And I do not think that changes are always good. Because now with Battlefield, I don't know what to expect. Will the gunplay be more like Battlefield 5? More like 1? More like 3? More like 4? More like Hardline? What are they emulating? In the gameplay clips we've seen of Battlefield 2042, it almost looks like Battlefield 2042 is mimicking the styles of Call of Duty. The weapon handling seems almost too fast to be a Battlefield game, and the recoil seems too low. So the Battlefield name doesn't really mean anything to me. I know it means larger scale combat and vehicle play and spawning on squad mates and taking objectives. I know that it means that. I know it means me and my friends are gonna have fun playing Conquest Large together. I know that. But, and this is very important, I'm kind of nitpicky. No. So I think it's worth pointing out that Battlefield doesn't have a consistency amongst its styles in a way that will allow me to be excited just by hearing the name Battlefield. On the one hand, I get what it's going to be like, and on the other hand, I have no clue, and I don't feel that way about other franchises. Call of Duty Vanguard nails that Call of Duty moment-to-moment gameplay of sprint, stop, aim, shoot, prone, crouch, jump, dive, slide. It feels good. It looks good. I understand what I'm purchasing with my money, and as I get older, that becomes way more important. And then Halo Infinite is returning Halo to form in a lot of ways, and it feels very, very intuitive yet evolved, and I appreciate that. It's like a game that I know what I'm getting into when I play it, but it is new, it sounds new, it looks new, and it has gimmicks and combinations I haven't even licked the surface of yet. I'm really excited to play more. I enjoyed the tech test. But all of this consistency and live service talk has me weary, so let's talk about EA restraining order. Get the hell out of my house. These guys kill games, okay? I don't think Titanfall 1 should have been a flop. I think that was EA's fault. But moving forward, I don't think Titanfall 2 should have died. I also think that's EA's fault. Hey, you like that Anthem game and you're excited for it to get reworked so it's actually worth the money you put in? Too bad, EA has decided that kneecapping you would be preferable to updating their stupid game. Blame Respawn, blame BioWare, but who are you gonna blame when it comes to Battlefield 5? Just as Battlefield 5 started actually acting on its promise as to delivering us a live service World War II that was going to evolve through large-scale conflicts that are more iconic. We went to Iwo Jima. It was pretty cool. I didn't like it, but it was cool. At least, you know, the concept was being realized. And then, again, they'd rather fucking kneecap you than update their game. And I really hope you weren't a Star Wars fan, because Battlefront 2, it gave you an Ewok and then told you to hit the fucking bricks. So, don't tell me about how excited you are for a Battlefield game. This is an EA game. And Battlefield doesn't have any design consistencies, and they're charging you $60 for online-only live service. And not only are you bending over for it, you're saying that that's okay because their previous campaigns weren't very good, or that previous games over a decade ago didn't have campaigns. So, give me back your credibility badge. I want to love Battlefield as a franchise, but unfortunately, EA publishes it and DICE has zero consistency. I do think the graphics will be pretty, and the maps will be big, and things will be chaotic, and it'll be fun to play with my friends. That I am almost sure of. But if you're wondering why I'm way more interested in talking about Call of Duty, well, it's because I'm a huge hypocrite. I mean, I say I like innovation, and I think that people should be more creative, but I'm gonna tell you, I talk more about Call of Duty because I know what I'm getting into. I don't think each title is the same, far from it. If they were, then I wouldn't prefer Modern Warfare over Black Ops Cold War, or A Bullet to the Head over Black Ops 4. They're not all made equally, but they are all made within that Call of Duty formula. I don't think Call of Duty is a slave to its formula. Genuinely, when it comes to casual, sit down and play 6v6 Twitch multiplayer, Call of Duty isn't a slave to its formula, it's sort of a master of that formula. They nail quick, intuitive, fun, casual Twitch shooter gameplay. That's why I don't take it very seriously as an esport. What I'm saying is it's nice to revisit a franchise every year that has a new coat of paint, and it really, in my opinion, has felt like a new coat of paint for a while now. Call me a dumb fanboy, but even Call of Duty games that are very similar, I can point out hundreds of differences and the pros and cons of each one. I really like talking about Call of Duty because it's interesting to see how a formula evolves annually. I wish it wasn't annual, but it is, so it's interesting to watch. Battlefield, it's sort of like, am I gonna like you? And that's a sad thing. This is the sad, subjective part of the video that I don't think many people need to take seriously, but I still feel the need to mention. I haven't enjoyed Battlefield. I haven't enjoyed sitting down and just playing Battlefield. I used to play Battlefield 3 and 4 and even Hardline for a little bit, just casually. I'd just come in my room, I'd sit down, grab my controller, and I'd play, and it just felt right. I haven't felt that way in a long time, which might remove some of my credibility, but it shouldn't. I just don't happen to enjoy the direction the series took. That doesn't mean I hate the series or I hate the memories, the countless memories that I've had with the series. Look, to summarize all of this, let me just say, I don't like the idea of wondering to myself what the core of this game is going to feel like, because every Battlefield game has like a completely different core to its design. And I don't like worrying about if EA is gonna have a change of heart or priorities and just pull the rug out from under this game, and then it just sort of dies, and there's no single-player offerings or anything, and it's just a piece of fucking shovelware that I delete off my hard drive. Look, you might think everything I'm saying is impossible, isn't going to happen, it's gonna be perfect, it's gonna be awesome, the trailers are great, everybody on my Twitter's hyped, it's gonna be super cool, then I don't think people have been paying proper attention. Not to EA, not to DICE, not to the gaming industry as a whole. Like, I'm like 2 weeks away from making my annual don't pre-order the next Call of Duty video because I think showing developers that they basically already have our money guaranteed is terrible for the launch and post-launch quality of the game in question. Let them know that they have to prove themselves to you, and don't just throw your money the moment you see your favorite logo flash up on screen. It's kind of embarrassing. Have we learned nothing? I'm just kidding with you, don't take me seriously. I pre-ordered 2 different copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 the first day that I was able to. Goodbye. I hope I didn't break something.